Okay, so I've always noticed that a ton of thrillers are always written in a cabin in the woods or on the lake, and I'm going to a cabin in the woods. It's also on a lake. Figured now would probably be a good time to read some. So here's me reading some lake house horrors at the lake. I mean, most of these are thrillers, but I felt like lake house horrors sounded a little bit better. I didn't get hurt. Told me all the things that she loves about this place. Empty inside, and there's not much. Okay, so I'm here. Nothing set up, which I'm explaining in a little Lake Week vlog. But I am so excited for this week. So I cheated a little bit because I did start Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors before I came. I wanted it to kind of get me in the mood because it's not set at a lake, but it's still like a remote in the woods type of thriller. So I'm like 65% of the way through. I am nervous about this one because I have had 2 separate friends tell me the plot was fun and the ambiance was there and it was like an enjoyable read, but then the twist at the end was kind of like, that kind of came out of nowhere. That wasn't really foreshadowed in any way. I always like when things connect, you know what I mean? So we'll see how I feel about this one. It's really just like an easy, fun one to kind of get me started on this whole thing. When my dad was looking for a house in this area, he sent me this really cute little bookstore in Greenville, which is like the closest city. So I definitely want to go there at some point. I want to buy probably the Riley Sager book. How did I forget? Oh my gosh. There's a little island out there and it's called Cemetery Island. You can't tell me that's not perfect for this. So at some point I will be paddling my little self out there and I will be reading at Cemetery Island and I will be very scared. I'll be shaking in my boots because I don't do very well with scary things, but I'm really excited for this for some reason, so. Okay, so I'm 76% of the way through Rock, Paper, Scissors, and we're starting to kind of find things out. Also, yes, I'm watching Twilight. But I figured this might be a good time to actually tell you what it's about. Okay, so basically it's about this husband and wife, and they're having issues, and they go to Scotland for like a little getaway, but it's in the Highlands, and it's super remote, and then things get a little spooky. And you can tell that they're both keeping secrets, but you don't know what they are. That's the gist of it. Oh, and he has face blindness too. But yeah, that's basically the whole overview without spoiling anything. Now I'm finding out things. I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. Like, I see where she was going with it, and I feel like it should have hit me harder than it did. But I'm just kind of like, that's irritating. Usually, hear me out. I love the type of books where you find something out and then you rethink how you read the whole first part of the book. And that's kind of what's going on. I don't know why I'm not liking it though. I mean, I'm going to finish it tonight and I'll give my final thoughts on everything, but anyway. Also, kind of wish it was more spooky. It was more like suspensey. I will be back with an update when I finish. Okay, I finished Rock, Paper, Scissors. Okay, let's talk about it. So, genuinely, the twists, they did feel foreshadowed. After we got through it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, no, that makes sense. Like I was saying before though, it didn't hit me as hard as I wanted it to. So, I rated it a 3 stars. One of the major reasons though, was I felt like too many of the loose ends tied up at the same place. It just felt too convenient to where it wasn't, you know what I mean? There were some things that I liked about it, don't get me wrong. I liked it. the twist was planned out from the beginning. I like the structure of it. It was fine. I really liked the ambiance. It wasn't as suspenseful or thrilling as I kind of wanted it to be. Oh, I feel like it was a plot point, so it was kind of a... I feel like it was kind of a missed little plot hole. The husband had face blindness, so he couldn't recognize features of people's faces. But it was such a big point that one of the characters in the book always wears the same type of outfit, and it's kind of like out of the ordinary. But he would always ask, is he in the room? How do you not know if he's not in the room? Or if he's in the room, if he always wears the same outfit? Or in pictures? Let's use some context clues. Oh, I feel like the name of the book kind of fell flat, like the reasoning behind it. It just didn't get me any like, oh my gosh. It was just kind of like, okay. So that's it, but I'm really excited because I want to read My Heart is a Chainsaw next, genuinely, just because when I was looking things up on Goodreads and I typed in Lake, this one came up because I think the series name is called the Indian Lake series or trilogy, whatever. And then I read like half of the synopsis and it said that they are at a lake. So here we are. Hopefully this one goes better. I think this one's supposed to be more of a horror than a thriller. I've been wanting to read it for so long, so I'm really excited about it. But thank goodness this thing is waterproof. Also, speaking of, let me just talk about this for a second. This and Rock, Paper, Scissors are both on Kindle Unlimited, so it really worked out. Love that. But I'm so glad that it's waterproof because I really want to take it to that island today. Very spooky. I'm going to start reading it. We'll see how far I get today. Know if I'm in a reading slump or something, or I'm just short-circuiting or reading it wrong. I'm reading My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm on page 37. I am having the hardest time understanding the writing. Like, I get what's going on. I get what's going on with the plot, but following it on like a smaller scale, no. What's happening? Is this just me? Like, am I reading it wrong? Does anybody else have this experience? Because, I would hate to DNF another book. I've DNF'd so many books this year. So, I think I'm going to try and push through the rest of this chapter, see where I get, and then, I don't know, come back to it. Maybe I'll find something else. I don't know. The other books that I wanted to get, they're not on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm going to go to a bookstore tomorrow. Kind of wanted to wait till that. I don't know, I might have to pivot. I might have to pick different books. I really wanted to like this one too because it's very interesting. It's this girl, she's like obsessed with slasher movies. But I don't know, I'm just like not following. Okay, so I'm 70% through. My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm getting into the meat of it now, like things are starting to be revealed. I did end up pushing through because I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm short-circuiting. Why can't I not understand this writing? I took a break. I read a palate cleanser for a little bit, came back to it and was like, yeah, it was me. I'm crazy. I needed to like debrief for a second. But now that I'm almost done with the book, I think the issue is that I just don't like the writing style that this author has, which I feel like I've never really said that before. I do not like his use of commas and just like this sentence structure in and of itself. And this has happened to me so many times in the story where I've had to reread things, not because I'm not paying attention, but it just does not, I don't know. So that's kind of how I feel right now. Not sure how I feel about the twist. It did have me there for a second. I thought I knew who it was going to be from the beginning, and then it ended up being somebody different, but it ended up being my second option. But it was only my second option because I felt like it would be too obvious. However, what inspired me to continue with the book was I went on Goodreads and I started reading the good reviews because I was like, I want to be inspired. I want to like this book. So I went on the reviews and I saw like quite a few where it said the last like 2 to 4 paragraphs were insane and like kept them up at night, and don't know what they mean by that, but it made me want to read it so bad that I was like, I will finish this book. So I am. So I'll probably finish it today, and then I think the plan is to go to Greenville tomorrow and go to that cute little bookstore because I need another one. I'm going back and forth right now. We'll get to that. We'll get to that after I finish this. So. I really hope this is not what's happening. That's it. I feel like I was misled. This book felt so long, but that ending made me so angry. Let me process this for a second. I hate to say this, I really do. I think I hated it. Yeah, I think I hated it. Oh my god, that's so disappointing. There's parts of it that are good, and I'm not gonna have the same opinion as everyone, but like 1 star. And 1 stars are reserved for books that make me angry. This book made me angry. Also, the fact that people are saying that, like, several people Goodreads were talking about like the last couple paragraphs. Why? It just wasn't all, I don't know. I didn't like it. To be fair, I do think I'm in a book slump. So like take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a 1 star. I didn't like the twist. The ending was kind of disappointing. And there was things that weren't answered. Ooh, I hate that. Yeah, okay, 1 star. But I'm gonna go get ready now. I'm supposed to go to Greenville today, which is like, I think 45 minutes away. And I'm gonna go to their cute little bookstore. I don't know what I want to get yet. I'm going between Riley Sager's The House Across the Lake and then another one that's obviously got a lake in it. I forget what it's called. I'll put it right here though. I know it's on Reese Witherspoon's book club and I trust her. So I'm almost leaning towards that one, but I feel like I'm gonna end up just reading whichever one has the best rating on Goodreads. So. So they actually ended up having a really small thriller section at this bookstore. And they didn't have either of the books that I was trying to get. They also didn't have my backup book. Or my backup book. So I went back to the drawing board and I ended up just finding another lakeside thriller on Kindle Unlimited. So I ended up going with this one. So since they didn't have anything at the bookstore that I wanted to get, I started Stillhouse Lake. It's the first in like a long series, but it had really good reviews. So this one is one of those on Kindle Unlimited that also comes with the audiobook. So I've been listening to the audiobook. Hey, Skylar. No, ma'am. Anyways, I've been listening to the audiobook because I'm kind of getting a little burnt out, especially with that last one. But it's nothing crazy right now. It's really just setting a backstory. It's interesting, but nothing to like write home about, you know? So I'm gonna keep going with it. It's like 90 degrees outside today. So I want to get on the water, but maybe later, maybe a little bit later when it starts to cool down a little bit. finished Still House Lake book 1 by, I'm pretty sure it's Rachel Kane. It was fine. So I'm definitely in a book slump. Yeah. Also something funny, I was just on TikTok and I saw a TikTok that was like, thrillers to get you out of your reading slump. And I was like, haha, that's so funny. Great. Glad I'm seeing it now. And it was literally a book that I have downloaded on Kindle Unlimited. Love that for me. So I think I'm gonna rate this one 2.5 stars. I'll put 2 on Goodreads, but I think 2.5. I didn't mind the reading experience, honestly. I listened to the audiobook the whole time because I just couldn't be bothered to sit down and actually read it, which I'm sure would have added to the experience. But truthfully, since I'm in a book slump, I think it just would have bored me for the first like 50% of it. There was some things that surprised me, but like the main thing was really easily pointed out. So it was a little too predictable. And it just like didn't have a wow factor, you know what I mean? Which sucks because a lot of people like this series and it's really long. Also, weird enough, it's set in Tennessee, which I looked up Still House Lake and it's actually in Texas, but she's got the setting in Tennessee, close to where I live. But even though I didn't like these 3 thrillers that I read, it's okay because I have a ton more saved. So I will be back a lot more to do a lot more like thrillers, which is really fun. But after we get it all set up and everything, we're gonna rent it out. So I will update you guys when that is, and I'll leave the link for it and everything if you guys wanted to come and stay here because it's honestly so pretty. And so with that, I am gonna go read a ton of books to get me out of my reading slump. I will see you next time. God, it's so hot.